Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to my channel Hairliciously. I apologize, it's been forever since I've given you guys an update. And for those who have been following my channel, I was actually on vacation in Japan, Tokyo to be exact, where I ate a lot of sushi, a lot of good food. I did a lot of sightseeing. And if you guys have never been to Japan, Japan is one of the places that I would recommend you guys going in Asia. I don't know if you guys can tell from this video, but I did gain about 2 pounds. Which isn't good because I need to start losing weight and growing out my hair because my wedding is in October. So I've decided to grow out my hair and I decided to just cut the sides short and hopefully I can grow it long enough in about 6 months time to cover the forehead. Let me give you guys an update of how the hair is looking right now. I did get my procedure for those who are new, back in November of 2016, so it's been about, a year and a half. So here is the hairline. As you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see the temporal points right here. The hairs are still a little bit curly, but all of the hairs are still there. And for those who have been following my videos, I will be getting a second hair transplant sometime in November of this year. So I'm probably going to be doing it right after my wedding because obviously I can't get one before because it takes time to grow and it's going to be red. So I really don't want to go through that whole process, especially during weddings where you have to take pictures and get ready and all that stuff. So November, it's pretty much confirmed heading over to South Korea to get my procedure done. And then for my honeymoon, I'll probably visit Thailand and maybe Vietnam. Maybe Japan, because I love that place so much. When I got here, I realized how fat us Americans are compared to a lot of these Asian countries. And that's because I think it's all about portion control. They eat less than we do. And, they do a lot of walking because a lot of the times they don't have transportation. They take the subway and they end up walking a lot. So, compared to our culture here in the US, we eat a lot of junk food. We aren't as mobile. We drive cars and we're normally just stationary when we work. But, I had a good time. I am still taking Propecia for those who are wondering. I am still Derma Rolling. And I've actually been starting to do this again because when I was in Japan, I didn't really have time to be derma rolling my scalp, but here's the derma roller that I use. I use this about twice a week, and as you guys know, derma roller is used to stimulate collagen production on the skin and also the scalp to reduce wrinkles, and it also causes the increase in cell production, and it also increases blood circulation around the scalp, which in turn helps with the promotion of new hair growth. So I have been using this. If you guys are interested in getting one, it's on my website at hairliciously.com. But yeah, here's how the hairline's looking. I think that it looks pretty good for a year and a half. Now, what I wanted to talk about today, a lot of people have been asking me, are hair transplants permanent? So there's two answers to this. For the most part, yes, and the other answer is obviously going to be no. So the reason why I say yes is because when you look at the Norwood chart, the most advanced Norwood chart is Norwood 7, where the person that is receding would have a total loss of hair on the hairline all the way back towards the crown, and then the person would only be left with a strip of hair in the back of the scalp, which resembles the horseshoe. And that is where the permanent donor zone is located, and that is where the hairs are removed and implanted into different recipient areas where the hairs are not going to be prone to DHT and genetic hair loss. So if the doctor does actually end up extracting hairs from the back of the scalp where the donor zone is not prone to DHT, then yes, the hairs are going to be permanent after a hair transplant. Now, that doesn't mean that the hairs aren't going to fall out completely, because sometimes hairs just fall out for no reason. And the other thing is the fact that as you get older, the hairs are going to get thinner and thinner. So even if you've had a nice full density hair transplant, as you get older, the density might diminish because the hair follicle diameters might get smaller and smaller. But for the most part, hair transplants that are taken from where the hairs are actually extracted from the back of the scalp that is not prone to DHT are going to be permanent. Now, sometimes doctors end up extracting the hairs too high from where where the donor zone is, and so if you end up taking hairs that's higher than where the regular permanent donor zone is, you're obviously going to be ending up with loss of hair if that area where the hair was taken from is going to be affected by genetic hair loss. Now, other people do suffer from other types of hair loss. Alopecia areata, where there's different patches of hair loss, and that also includes hair loss in the back of the scalp where the donor zone is located. So if that area is also affected by other conditions of alopecia, there's a good chance that the hair transplant is not going to be permanent. But for the most part, hair transplants are going to be permanent, and an average person can get anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 grafts in the cycle of their lifetime for hair transplants, depending on the number of grafts that they have on their scalp. If you do have a smaller number of grafts on your scalp, then obviously you're not going to be able to yield a higher number of grafts compared to someone who actually has a full set of hair and thicker diameter hair follicles. But I am very excited to get my second hair transplant in November. And I just wanted to kind of show you guys what kind of hairline that I want to get. Now, the type of hairline that I want to get is going to be a little bit aggressive. And since I am on Propecia, I feel that my hair loss is not going to be severe. And right now, I'm 30 years old. Well, I'm turning 30 next month. And there's a lot of people that are saying that, I should wait till in my later 30s or even in my early 40s. But what's done is done. And so one of the main reasons why I want to get a second hair transplant is to increase the density. As you guys can see, a lot of times when you get a first hair transplant, the density is not going to be there. So a lot of times people would have to go in and get a second hair transplant to add in the density. And that's also going to be my case, where I'm going to be filling in some of these areas here with hair. And I'm also going to be lowering the hairline and also lowering the temporal points. So the distance from here to here, as you guys can see, I can almost fit 2 fingers. Same thing on the other side. And if you guys are naturally born with a large forehead and you start receding on the temples, your forehead is going to look even larger. So what you want to do is you want to work with the temples. Make sure that you bring this in. Also on the same side here. And also lower the hairline. Now, right now, the hairline, I think it's at a good height. And a lot of people would agree, but honestly, for people that are not balding, this is actually on the bigger side. I think my forehead measures about 7.5 centimeters, and I think the average person that is not balding has a forehead length of anywhere from 6 to maybe 6.5, or maybe 5 centimeters to 6.5 centimeters. So I am on the larger side, but that's one of the reasons why I want to lower it. So I also want to add in the densities onto the temporal points here. And some of the hairs here are curly. This side here is okay. But I don't know how the doctor's going to be able to fix this. I feel like they might just add in more hair grafts to add in the density. I don't think the doctor's going to be able to take it out and then replant that with different types of thinner hair or nape hair. But I wanted to give you guys a demonstration of what kind of hairline that I will be requesting. So starting on the temporal points here, since the distance from this point here to my eyebrows, there's a larger gap, I kind of wanted to bring it down just a little bit. And then kind of create that 90-degree angle. And then maybe just fill in that area right there. Same thing on the other side. Maybe just bring it down just a little bit. And then close that off right there. And I think that's going to make the forehead look a little bit smaller. And that's actually one of the more masculine features, where guys have hairlines where their temporal points are protruding out. And the other thing is my forehead, I wanted to maybe drop about 1 centimeter. And obviously, as you guys can see, my original hairline is back here. And so when I got my first hair transplant, I dropped it about 1 centimeter to 1.5, depending on where the temples are located. So I wanted to drop it down just a little bit more, and then instead of having this curve, it just receded. So I wanted to kind of make it a little bit less noticeable, and then kind of close it off like so. So I'm probably looking at somewhere between, I want to say at least 2,000 grafts, because I also have to add in the density. And then since I'm lowering about 1 centimeter, anytime you lower about 1 centimeter on average, it's going to take about 1,000 grafts to fill in. So I'm probably looking somewhere between 2,000 and maybe 2,300, which isn't bad. But yeah, so that's the plan. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Feel free to subscribe, like this video. And since I am back home now, I will be doing more videos on hair loss topics. I know that I've kind of been very lazy and I've just been busy with everything with work. So if you guys have anything that you guys want me to talk about, make sure to leave them in the comments below. And I will try to post up videos once every 2 or 3 days. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.